It's video out of San Francisco that is drawing a lot of attention online. An art gallery owner spraying a homeless woman with a hose as she sits on the sidewalk.
It's a very, very sad situation.
Our Eyewitness News sister station in San Francisco was the only TV outlet to speak to the man with the hose.
And she's very psychotic.
Collier Gwin says he's been trying for weeks to get the woman help, but to no avail.
We called the police. There must be 25 calls on record. It's 2 days in a homeless shelter. It's 2 days in jail. And then they drop him right back on the street.
So Monday, as he was spraying the sidewalk and she wouldn't move, this is what he chose to do.
I totally understand what an awful thing that is to do. But I also understand what an awful thing it is to leave her on the streets.
Police were called, but neither Gwin nor the homeless woman wanted to pursue charges. But it's the kind of frustration Angelenos know all too well. More than 40,000 people live on the streets of L.A. That number balloons to nearly 70,000 in L.A. County.
Motion carries 5-0.
Okay, let's go to work.
The L.A. County Board of Supervisors voting to declare a state of emergency.
We will get people into housing for good. We'll get them the care they need and deserve, and results for every community in LA County.
We're keeping our promises.
Governor Newsom trying to tackle the problem as well. His new budget revealed, despite posting a $22 billion deficit, dedicates more than $15 billion statewide towards homelessness.
People just have had it. I want to see these encampments cleaned up. They're done. They're fed up. We've got money in the encampment cleanup, $750 million. We're not cutting a penny of that.
Of course, we've heard all this before and seen a lot of money thrown at the problem with little to no success. We'll see this time around if any progress is made.
I'm trying to get you to write a real story that is apologetic on my part, that things could not have been handled better, and that after countless times of trying to help her, countless that can be researched and shown, that trying to wash down the street and clean up her mess, and she became just completely belligerent and out of her mind again, that at that point, I turned the hose on her. Guess what? It woke her up. She moved. And that's what she needed to do. But the paramedics come, and once again, they won't do anything.
How long, I mean
social service.
How long would you say the hose, like what we see in the video is like a 10 or 12 second snippet? How long was the hose running?
I don't know. It's one of those things that I don't know. I really don't remember. I mean, was it a minute? Was it 30 seconds? It was trying to get her to move and trying to help her. I came down and asked her if I could help her move the clothes and the whole thing. I mean, this is not a person who just has no sympathy or empathy for homeless people.
You are not.
I am not.
Hello, I'm Sarah Donchi. So it is the video that is getting a lot of attention. It's going viral on social media tonight. Millions of people have already seen it. It's a San Francisco art gallery owner spraying a homeless woman with a hose. Now, it seems like most people who see this have gotten pretty upset. A lot of people saying it's disgusting and that it's heartbreaking. Well, tonight, the gallery owner told us, yeah, I did it. And he's facing a lot of criticism, a lot of pushback. We saw some of it tonight firsthand. There was a confrontation with a protester outside while our cameras were rolling. The gallery owner talked with our Betty Yu tonight. She has the story.
The owner of the San Francisco Art Gallery says he understands the rage that people feel toward him. He said on Tuesday someone punched his front glass window and threatened to kill him. This viral video captures a San Francisco Art Gallery owner spraying a homeless woman with a hose Monday morning. It sparked widespread outrage online.
What they saw is very regrettable. I feel awful, not just because I want to get out of trouble or something like that, but because I'd put a tremendous amount of effort into helping this woman.
Collier Gwin owns Foster Gwin Gallery in Jackson Square. He said this confrontation was the result of multiple attempts to get her help after he spent days cleaning up her mess and letting her sleep in his doorway. He said he and other business owners in the area have called SFPD and social services more than 24 times in the last 2 weeks.
So I said she needs psychiatric help. You can tell. She's pulling her hair, she's screaming, she's talking in tongues. You can't understand anything she says. She's throwing food everywhere.
Collier said on Monday he had had enough.
I've been down here 40 years. I've seen tons of homeless people. We've helped the ones that we could, and I have not had any issues with people. But in this case, I was very upset that the city could not help.
He said police and city workers told him they could not forcibly move the woman.
I just snapped. I was watering and around her, and I just snapped when she went off in her belligerent, tongues and stuff. And I just snapped and I pulled the hose up higher and I sprayed her. And when I look at myself on the film, I can't even believe that that's me. But I didn't know what else to do. It was getting so frustrating.
I want you to shut down and I want you to move away because you treated somebody inhumanely.
We were there Tuesday when a man confronted Collier over his actions. Collier said he's been inundated with repeated death threats and targeted by vandals. Barbarossa Lounge next door, whose business could be seen in the background, said it condemns Collier's actions.
It's very unfortunate that it happened in front of our small business. We've been struggling a lot through COVID, hanging on by a thread, and now our reputation is being dragged through the mud for something that we didn't do, something that's not even affiliated with us. We don't believe in the inhumane treatment of anyone, homeless or not.
Collier said before this moment, he had behaved like an angel to the woman.
I'm very, very sorry. I'm not going to defend myself. I'm not going to, because I can't defend that.
Okay, so after that incident happened, after he sprayed the woman with the hose, police went out, but officers told us that both parties chose not to take action at the time. Now, Collier said that today he saw the woman again in an ambulance and he apologized to her, but that she wasn't really making sense when she responded. The city's Department of Homelessness and Supportive Housing told KPIX this was an awful act toward someone so vulnerable and that there is no place for this kind of violence and hatred.